Hello, we're back with another Play or Pass, where we jump into some co-op and multiplayer games and give you our thoughts on whether or not they're worth picking up. If you want to join myself and Nex for more co-op and multiplayer content, feel free to hit the sub button below and sit back each week as we review and play through all sorts of different titles. Today we're covering 0 Hour, a tactical online team-based FPS game that puts you in the shoes of a special operations officer, tasked with rescuing hostages and taking down hostiles. But as straightforward as that sounds, 0 Hour isn't like other shooters in the genre. You can't rush key points on the map like Call of Duty, you can't restock ammo and equipment like you can on Insurgency, and you can't just blast everything in sight, call it a day, extract, put your feet up and feel like you've done a good job. 0 Hour is a bit different to these other games. It's the first game we've ever played that enforces rules of engagement, meaning that you can't sneak around headshotting your way through the mission. You have to look for signs of aggression before you fire. And if you don't follow these rules, you can face penalties at the end of the round, meaning you might not unlock the next level. We weren't supposed to rescue this guy, were we?
I felt like he was alright. He was a good guy. Oh, that's rude.
The game also rewards slow, meticulous gameplay. Right away you feel the tenseness of the operations you're in. And this tension is built from traps set for you, enemies hiding around corners and under beds, and the knowledge that around any corner there could be an enemy sitting there with the ability to one-shot you out of existence, leaving your team to carry on alone. Ooh, sneaky. All of this makes 0 Hour a unique and edge-of-your-seat experience relative to other modern shooters. And best of all, you can play co-op. So we jumped in to find out if 0 Hour is a play or a pass.
0 Hour, a tactical shooter that attempts to mix some known FPS concepts with some not so known ones. There are 3 modes to select: multiplayer, co-op and training mode. Of course we had a go at training first, to get a general feel for the controls and movement. It's broken into 2 areas. First is a firing range, where you just keep shooting at different targets, possibly indefinitely. We certainly got bored before it told us we'd done enough. Then you are quietly pointed to a time trial. Here you understand a bit about how the game plays. The sensitivity is extremely low by default, even lower when using aim down sight, and you run out of breath after 5 seconds of sprinting. Looking at this leaderboard, and as I expect most of us do, we wondered how people got through it in under 30 seconds. People just find ways, don't they? We generally start with co-op mode first, and here was no exception. We were immediately shown some of the unique concepts to this game, such as the planning stages. The idea is you look at a drawing of the map you're about to infiltrate and pick a spawn location, and then the team can interact with the 3D version to plan routes. It took some time getting used to, but we slowly learned to use it as best we could.
You go this way.
Okay, yeah. I see you there.
No,
I'll try and go this way.
Alright, I'm going to exit.
Deploying in 10 seconds.
Alright, just make sure you keep an eye on this point here though.
They'll probably come from this direction.
Good point, good point. We had 5 weapon presets, a couple assault rifles, a shotgun, a machine pistol and a shield, each coming with a sidearm. We could choose one of 4 gadgets to take along too. 2 grenade options, a C2 explosive and night vision. The first co-op mission had us infiltrate a building to kill the assailants, rescue some hostages and earn enough points to unlock the next mission. You get no real instruction as to how to achieve this, and ultimately do countless reruns to figure it out.
Careful.
What? Was that guy really just there?
Yeah, he surrendered and everything.
For us this was a tall order, considering a number of issues we'd started to find with the game, as well as the following questionable combat constraints. Players must secure enemy weapons from the floor to get points, even though there seems to be no in-game risks for not doing so. Enemies can't pick them up and use them, so it just seems to be a chore to add something to do. You also lose points for shooting enemies that are unaware of your presence, despite them mostly wearing balaclavas and holding hostages in a building full of trip mines. It briefly raised the moral question of when excessive force should be allowed in combat situations, before we realised it was just a really bad design choice either way. We basically had to stand in the line of sight or shoot near them, just so we could kill them without losing points. There was spawn randomisation between attempts, making repeat plays not as dull as you would expect. However, some enemy spawns were more questionable than others. After a number of hours learning who to shoot, not to shoot and when, we banded together to finally unlock the next map, and that was enough of co-op for now. Unfortunately, throughout the time we were playing, there were no other players queuing for multiplayer, so we took to hopping on opposite teams and exploring the mode. Here we had the same weapon options as the co-op version, but if you played on the terrorist side, you had even less options. Although acceptable, the visuals are quite low detail, with hitboxes feeling a bit off. Movement again was acceptable but not particularly satisfying, the character feeling slow and sluggish when you get about. There was a clear oversight when it comes to in-game audio. Reloading and dropping your clip on the floor is distinctly inaccurate. And other sounds seem out of place too. You can't always hear bullets being fired, for example. You don't get much feedback when you take damage either, often being unaware you were one shot from death. Despite these clear deficiencies, we seem to still enjoy the experience overall. Interestingly enough, for all its annoyances or inadequacies, there always seemed to be a reasonable rationale to overlook them and just have fun. Although not marketed as such, all of the development issues mentioned turned this into a hardcore shooter. We were essentially playing as hearing impaired soldiers, who are immune to pain and have no idea why we were here and what's going on. What's not to like? Come on, I think we can win this. How much
They're working that, they're neutralized.
I just died. Did you die?
Yeah, of course. I was behind you, that's why I said don't walk in. 0 Hour clearly has its problems. The servers make Chernobyl feel lively, the sounds and graphics feel like a game made on the Source engine in 2010, and the limited game modes and maps can make it feel a bit repetitive. However, despite all of this, we still found ourselves excited to play the game again. And I think this is down to the combination of challenge and reward that makes this game so addictive. Every time you make a mistake or you get killed, you just want to jump in and have another go, even if you've played the same map 15 times already. This is something that made the Dark Souls series so great. People love a challenge, and even more so, people love a challenge that rewards you. And in 0 Hour, you can't unlock the next co-op mission until you do well enough on the previous ones. And while this may seem repetitive, the challenge and reward style of the game makes something that's addictive and fun. However, because of the glaring issues it has with some basic core elements of game design, overall we gave 0 Hour a 2 out of 5. And in its current state, for us, it's a pass. Let us know in the comments what you think of the game, or whether or not you agree with our opinions in the review. We're the Bullet Sponges, and we'll see you in the next one.